The accident. Look, I really am sorry about the accident. I feel I do owe you an explanation, what with you being chairwoman of the village hall committee and all, and the hall being destroyed, not to mention your actual home next door being badly damaged. I appreciate you had a terrible night, but you got to believe me when I say that it was not done as an expression of anger against the patriarchy and Mrs. Thatcher, who is apparently part of it. I don't really understand how. She's a woman and all. Z and Fred have explained it to me over and over, but I just can't seem to get it to stick. Our theatre company wasn't actually meant to be in Burtley Heath at all. Did you know your village shares a name with one in Yorkshire? No, I didn't either. I suppose a few alarm bells should have rung when your village hall agreed to book a show, the profits from which should go to the miners. But at the time, I didn't realise there weren't any coal mines in Surrey. None at all, apparently. Actually, I think it was a case of crossed wires. It was a bad line, and I don't think Miss Timms could hear all that I was saying. And that was probably why she thought she was booking a speaker on ladies' hosiery throughout the ages. Which she absolutely wasn't. Look, I'm not one of them fanatics. Obviously, I want equal rights and all that, but I'm not an extremist. Truth be told, I only joined the Gusset of Power Theatre Company because I was a bit desperate. I needed money urgently as I dropped my flatmate's Walkman down the toilet and she was insisting that I replace it. Would you like some water? Oh, sorry. I forgot you can't talk. I can call a nurse if you like. No? Oh, okay. So when I auditioned for Gusset of Power's production of Pants, Phallocentrism and Pork Pies, a musical journey through herstory in support of the underbitch, it wasn't actually for political reasons. I'd make my credentials sound good though, and I borrowed my cousin's dungaree and denim jacket complete with her set of badges, Rock Against Racism, Red Wedge, the whole caboodle. Oh, this is really paying off, I thought, when at the audition when I saw Z staring hard at my lapels. It was only when I got hot on the bus home and took it off that I noticed one that said, I heart Shakin' Stevens. Nevertheless, Z and Fred clearly thought I was better than the other auditionees. Whoever they were, I never saw no one else coming or going. The rehearsals were a bit strained, to tell you the truth. The music, pre-recorded, was written by Nick, who is apparently a girl and just a friend of Fred's. However, we never actually saw them, and it was only Fred who was allowed to go across the road to the call box and ring them when we had a query. Z would always roll her eyes at this and stir her tea dead angrily. They once had a colossal row about it, and Z even called Fred by her real name, Denise. Apparently only her mum and Nan are allowed to call her that. Of course, I don't do much in the play. Z and Fred have most of the lines and the songs. I play characters like Elizabeth I and Boudica, which sounds good until you realise that the real heroes, to quote Z, are the woman who empties Her Majesty's chamber pot, Z, and the woman who oils the wheels of Boudica's chariot, Fred. Apparently Elizabeth and Boudica are also part of the patriarchy. I don't understand that either, but I made sure I agreed with everything they said. You never think of Boudica's chariot wheels needing oiling, do you? But I suppose the Would have given the game away if she was ambushing the Romans. Fair play, there's no hills to hide behind in East Anglia. Oh, would you like me to shut the door? I can see you keep gesturing at it with your eyes. That's better. The ward out there is very noisy. Anyway, there was supposed to be a rousing finale where the woman who does the washing up at number 10 overthrows the Thatcher regime with the help of Arthur Scargill and Tony Benn. They don't seem to be part of the patriarchy, which is a bit odd, what with them being blokes and all, but there you go. Anyway, then we all sing, "The revolution's here at last, now everything's just fine. Phallocentric capitalism's past, let's go back down that mine." Which does seem a bit like out of the frying pan into the fire from the perspective of the washing up woman. But Z said I didn't understand as I'd not had my consciousness raised like she had when she was at Cambridge. Of course, it was all academic, as we'd only got as far as Fred's speech as the woman who elasticates the pants of the Victorian pork pie factory owner when the incident occurred. It honestly was an accident. I was standing in the dark backstage with the props and costumes when Bob, you know, Miss Tim's nephew who was supposed to be helping with the bar, sidles up to me and says, "I know you from somewhere." Now, I'd never been to your village before in my life, so I don't know what he's on about. But he keeps on, and by now Z's noticed and has come over. She don't like us talking to men, especially as Bob wound her up when we arrived by asking if she'd like a lovely little baby sham. But he keeps on and won't shut up. Eventually he says, "That's it. I know where I've seen you before. You're in the video of Wham's Club Tropicana. You jiggle up and down in a white bikini, take a sip of a cocktail, and then pout at George Michael." I had never seen Z look so furious. As she put her face right up against mine, I stepped backwards, knocking Tony Benn's pre-lit pipe onto the Free Nelson Mandela t-shirt that the washer-upper at number 10 was quite inexplicably going to be wearing. Looking back, it was a shame that Z had said that fireproofing was a manifestation of bourgeois values. I am so sorry that you had trouble getting out of the hall. And yes, Fred shouldn't have put some of our props in front of the fire exit. And yes, it was particularly ironic that you ended up being trapped by Joan of Arc's stake. So I know that it was my pout in the video that inadvertently started it all. It wasn't even much of a pout. Didn't seem to do anything for George Michael. He didn't even break off his conversation with Dave, the location assistant. Oh, well, now I see I'm tiring you. Your heart monitor's going a little bit haywire, so I'll toddle off now. Oh, I nearly forgot. I brought you a little something. I know most of your clothes were damaged by smoke from the blaze, so I got you this to wear instead. So much nicer than a hospital gown. I'm sure Z and Fred wouldn't approve, but I think it's got really good advice written on it. So, as Frankie says, relax. Cheerio!